Okay, guys, we're going to pick up where we left off on Friday, and you should have a calculator in front of you with a sine, cosine, and tangent button on it. And then also, if you haven't been taught yet, you need to do some research on how to set your calculator to degrees and not radians. Okay. All right. We're going to start here. So, first of all, it says use sine, cosine, or ratio from the chart to find the values of each variable. Round your answer to the nearest hundredths. So we are given one side, and we need to find this side, b. So b equals something. All right, well, Pythagoras' theorem, I need two sides, and I can find the third side. Also, another thing note is that this thing, there's a right angle. Okay, everything's got to work off right angles here. So I do see one more thing. This is called degrees, 50 degrees, and we get this confused a lot with side length. And that is not a side, that is a degree, meaning it is 50 degrees angle. So I'm going to say, listen, all right, I've got a side and I've got a degree. I can actually use sine, cosine, tangent button to set up a proportion. And your calculator actually has the original proportion set up for it already. So we're going to set it up like this. So first of all, I want to label all the sides that I know I have. And this is called the opposite of that angle. Opposite. Okay. This is the longest side, so this is going to be the hypot. Okay. And then this would be the other one, and the other one, we've got opposite, hypotenuse, and then it's the other one, guys. Just remember. Starts with an A. I'm going to say A. There we go. Hypotenuse, opposite, hypotenuse. Oh my goodness. This is how bad it is right now. Okay. Anyways. Alright. Well, I don't know this one, so I'm going to forget it right now. I'm looking at my hypotenuse and my opposite. And so, which one of these, sine, cosine, or tangent, which one uses opposite and hypotenuse? Okay? And you should think, ooh, so, right? Remember, toa. Alright. So sine, cosine, or tangent. Which one uses opposite and hypotenuse? And I'm thinking sine here uses opposite and hypotenuse. So I'm going to take my opposite, which is b. I'm going to put it over my hypotenuse, which is 10. Now this equals sine of 50 degrees. Alright. So the sine of 50 degrees is the same thing as b over 10. Okay, remember we picked sine because we have an opposite and a hypotenuse. Okay, so now I need to get b all by itself. And hopefully you should say, hey, listen, I'm dividing by 10. So if I multiply by 10, that'll get rid of it, right? So I gotta multiply by 10 on both sides. This will cancel, and I'm left with b equals sine of 50 degrees, this is why we have it in degrees, not radians, times 10. Now after I grab my calculator, sine of 50 degrees times 10 equals about 7.66, and it says round to the nearest hundredth, so that would be 2 decimal places. So how far is b? About 7.66, right? Does that seem like it makes sense? If the hypotenuse is 10, b could be 7.66, yeah? It's got to be less. Got to be less. All right. Adjacent. There we go. Adjacent. All right, next one. All right, so here's my angle. So I'm going to label all the sides. All right, this is my op. I don't know anything about my opposite. Okay, this is my hypotenuse. Okay, I hope you guys are labeling these as well. And this is my adjacent. Alright. So I've got stuff about the adjacent and hypotenuse. So remember with your chart, sine, cosine, tangent. And this is the last time I'm writing this out because it takes too long. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. And tangent is TOA. Alright? See that? SOHCAHTOA. So which one uses a hypotenuse? Because that's what I know. And an adjacent, which is what I want to know. And you should say ding, 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 cosine. So you got to put in your calculator. First of all, adjacent, which is D, all over 7, which is your hypotenuse. That will equal the cosine. Right? The cosine of 42 degrees. Now before I start doing any calculations here, I'm actually going to want to get D by itself. And once again, that's divided by 7, so I'm going to multiply by 7, multiply by 7, and D equals, if I multiply cos of 42 degrees times 7. Alright, you guys got that in your calculator? You better be practicing. Pause it if you need to. 5.20. Alright, 5.20, so D is 5.20. Does that seem about right? Ooh, that's a horrible box job. 5.20 is definitely less than 7. Next problem. Alright, here's my angle, 55 degrees. I know my opposite. See how fast I'm going to start getting here? My hypotenuse, I don't know anything about. No information given. And then I have my adjacent. Adjacent. Okay. So, which one does opposite and adjacent? Well, that would be TOA, which is tangent. Alright? And tangent is opposite over adjacent. So I'm going to go x over 30. Right? Because x is my opposite. 30 is my adjacent. And that is going to equal the tan of 55 degrees. Alright, same thing guys as we did the last time. How do we get rid of division? We multiply by 30. Multiply by 30. And I got x equals... I got 42.84. Does that seem about right? If this is 30, could this be 42? I think so. Alright, I think so. I think it. I think it. Okay, cool. Cool beans. Cool beans. Cool beans. Hey, what do you call men sunning on a beach? Here's my joke of the day. What do you call men sunning on a beach? Scarlett, do you know? What? Men sunning on a beach. What do you call them? Call them tangents. Hey. Tangents. You get it? Tangents. Oh, what did the acorn say when he grew up? Gee, I'm a tree. Oh, we're having too much fun here. Alright, here's my angle. I know the opposite. I think I'm going to talk in whispers. I know the opposite. This is the hypotenuse. Know nothing about that guy. And I want to know the adjacent then. Alright. So I'm looking for something with opposite and adjacent. That should be tangent. Remember, tangent is O over A. So I am going to go 8 over X equals the tan of 20 degrees. Can you hear me? All right, this one's a little tricky, and that's why I'm kind of finishing up here. Let's see, how many more do we have? We have quite a few more, but we're going to try and push through on this one. This is a little tricky, because notice X is in your denominator. But if I multiply by X, what's going to happen? If I multiply by X, it's going to bring the X over here, right? Okay, that's actually one of the rare times I actually want to do anything with an X, because I never want X in the denominator. Okay, I always want an X to be in a numerator position. Now that's going to give me 8 equals tangent of 20 degrees times X. Now here is the situation. I want X by itself. X is now in the numerator. Notice it was in the denominator. I brought it up to the numerator on the other side. So how do I get X by itself? Well, it's multiplying here, guys. How do I get rid of multiplication? If I divide. So if I divide by tangent of 20 here, I can divide this side by tangent of 20. That'll cancel out. Boom. And I am left with X equals... Did you pause it? I paused it. You better pause it. 21.97. Check your answer. Does it make sense? Could X be 21.47? 21.47. Oh, that's 8. X is quite a bit longer. 21.47 seems like it's doable. Let's keep it cracking. More examples the better. Alright, here's the opposite. I don't know squat about that sucker. Here's the hypotenuse, right? The longest side is 12. This must be your A, or your adjacent. So I have information about my hypotenuse. I have information about my A. I am thinking cos. Cos is A over H, remember? Alright, so I am going to go F over 12 equals cos. We're just going to crank these out. Cos of what degrees? 35 degrees. Sorry, that doesn't look like cos. Alright, how do I get F by itself now? Ooh, F is on the top. That's fine. So I want to get rid of this divided by 12. We're back to the old changeroo. Divide by 12, divide by 12. Boom. By the way, guys, I'm missing the Oscars for this. I really like the Oscars. I'm missing the Oscars because of this. So I hope you know how much I love you, because I'm missing the Oscars for this. Alright. Cosine of 35 times 12. I am getting 9.82. Check it. Actually 3. Because that rounds up to a 3. Does 9.83 seem like it would fit in here? Hypotenuse is 12. Yeah, that seems like it works. Let's do one more. One more. Here's the angle. Opposite. Alright. Here's the hypotenuse. Here's the adjacent. I have opposite. I have that's sine, right? Opposite. And hypotenuse. So I'm going to go C over 7. Because the opposite of hypotenuse is sine. That's going to equal the sine of 42. Alright, we're going to pause it. Oh, sorry. Multiply first. 7. That'll cancel. Multiply by 7. Alright, so C should equal 7 seconds, 4.68 Pretty